Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Welcome all in this new video lecture. In this video, we will see conditional statement in Python programming. So you can see I have opened a Jupyter notebook file, and first you will be seeing the introduction. So a brief introduction about conditional statements. So conditional statements are one of the most fundamental concepts in programming. They allow us to create code that execute different action based on a certain condition. Without conditional statements, programming would be limited to executing the same instruction every time a program runs, which severely restrict the power and flexibility of the code. In Python, conditional statements are used to control the flow of the program based on whether certain conditions are true or false. So this allows us to create program that makes decisions based on the user input, data values, or the other factor, and execute different action accordingly. In the rest of this notebook, we will dive into the syntax and uses of conditional statement in Python, including if, elif, and else statements. So first is syntax of if statement. So the basic syntax of if statement is if condition, then a column. So if I write like this, first I write if, then any condition, then column. Then if I click enter, then we have to write whatever program we have to execute on this condition. So I will show you the example. So here is an example. So in this example, if a statement can be used to check whether a number is positive or not. So you can see the number is equal to 5, but here I am checking this if number is positive. So I will write if, and then I will give the condition here, number is greater than 0. So if the number is greater than 0, that means number is positive. Then I will give the column here. Then I will click enter, and I will come to the my executing code block. So this block will be executed. So whatever I write here, this will be executed. So I will write here the number is positive. So if I run this cell, so since 5 is greater than 0, that means 5 is a positive number. So this code block will be executed. You can see this code block executed here, and it is giving us output as number is positive. And if I write number is equal to -8, so this time this code block will not be executed. You can see there is no output. There is no output for this -8 number. Now if I remove this minus, so this time number is 8 and number is greater than 0. That is obvious, and this time output will be the number is positive. So we again get the output number is positive. So in general, the condition in an if statement can be any expression that evaluates to a boolean value, true or false. If the condition is true, the code block that follows the if statement is executed. If condition is false, the code block is skipped and the program continues executing the next statement outside of the if block. So here is an example program that uses an if statement to check whether a number is positive or negative. In this example, this time the number will be given from the user. So if I run this cell, so it will ask me a number to enter. So if I write number 87, so 87 will be stored in number variable, and number will be compared to 0 if number is greater than 0. Then this statement will be printed, the number is positive, otherwise nothing will be printed here. So if I enter, you can see the number is positive, and if I run this cell again, and this time if I write -20, so this time nothing will be our output. So you can see there is nothing printed here. So if I run this cell again, this time if I give number as 25, so this time output is the number is positive, and if I run this cell again, this next block is not executed. So this means the number is negative. So this is how you can understood how if statement works. So if the user enters a negative number, the code block inside the if statement is not executed and nothing is printed to the console. Next is else statement. So in Python, an else statement can be used in conjunction with an if statement to execute a different code block when the condition in the if statement is not met. The basic syntax of an if-else statement is, we can see in this cell. First I have write some condition with if statement. So if the condition is true, then this code block will be executed. So that is associated with if statement. If the condition is not true, so at that time this code block that is associated with else statement, this will be executed. So we will see in this below example. So in this example we can see how if else statement can be used to check whether a number is positive or negative. So this time again we are taking input from the user, and we have written this condition, number is greater than 0. So if the number is greater than 0, then if statements block will be executed, otherwise else statements block will be executed. So block means code block. So if I run this cell, so this will ask me to enter a number, and if I enter this number 45, so you can see 45 will be gone into number variable, and then again this number will be compared to the 0. If number is greater than 0, then if statements code block will be executed, that is the number is positive, otherwise else statements code block will be executed, that is number is negative or 0. So if I enter here, we will see first code block will be executed. So first code block is the number is positive. You can see the number is 45, so it is greater than 0, that is 45 is a, that means 45 is a positive number, so the first code block is executed. So again, so if I run this cell again, so this time if I give the number as -19, so this time this code block will not be executed because -19 is less than 0. That means first if statement is false here, so this time else statement will be executed. This time output will be the number is negative or 0. So you can see if I press enter, so it will give my output as the number is negative or 0. So again if I run this cell, and this time I write number as 0 and click enter, so the number is negative or 0. So this is how if else statement are used together. Next is elif statement. In Python, elif statement is used in conjunction with the if statement to check multiple conditions. It allows us to specify multiple conditions and execute different code blocks based on which condition is true. So the basic syntax of an if elif else statement is, first we have if statements condition, then elif statements condition, then again elif statements condition, and if we have some more condition, then we will write that condition with the elif statement. If we have covered all the condition, then in the end we will write else statements condition. So first, if statements condition will be checked, then elif, then again elif, then again elif. So all the elif condition will be checked. Then if we have covered if and elif conditions, then in the last else conditions will be executed. So here is an example. You can see again the same example. This time we are checking if a number is positive, negative or 0. So first is if statement. So first if statement is checking if the number is greater than 0, that means if the number is positive. Second is elif statement, that is number is less than 0, that means number is negative. So if the number is positive, then first statement will be executed. If the number is negative, then second statement will be executed. So if both are not true, that means both are false, number is not negative, number is not positive, so the else statement will be executed, that is number is 0. So if I run this cell and write number as 78, so you can see 78 is greater than 0, that means number is positive, so output is the number is positive. If I run this cell and this time if I enter number as minus 56, so you can see this time number is negative, so the number is negative. If I run this cell and this time if I write number as 0, then you can see this time both the statements are not satisfied. So if and elif statements, both the elements are false. So this time else statement will be executed and the output will be the number is 0. So if I enter, so you can see the number is 0. So this is how if elif else statement are executed. The next is nested if statements. In Python, a nested if statement is an if statement that is inside another if statement. This allows us to create more complex conditional statements by checking multiple conditions within a single code block. The basic syntax of a nested if statement is like this. First, we are having condition 1 with a if statement, and if this condition 1 is not true, then we are having corresponding else statement. But if the condition 1 is true, then we are having code block of this condition 1, and that code block is having another if else statement in it. So this code block is having if statement, and the condition is condition 2 here. If the condition 2 is true, then this code block will be executed. So this code block will be executed only if condition 1 and condition 2 both are the true, and this code block will be executed if the condition 1 is true and the condition 2 is false, and this code block will be executed if the condition 1 is false. So you can see there are total 4 code blocks. So you can go through it more deeply. I have written in this cell very carefully. So next we are having an example of nested if else statement. In this example, we are determining if a person is eligible to vote or not. We are taking 2 inputs from the user. First is age of the user, and the second is if that user is citizen of the country or not. First, let's say the user gives us input as age is equal to 25 and citizen is equal to yes. So age is equal to 25, that means this first if statement will be executed. So this first if statement is again having if statement. So this second if statement is comparing the citizen to S. So this time we are having citizen is equal to S from the user. So s is equal to s, that means second if statement is also true, that means this code block will be executed. So the output will be you are eligible to vote. So if I run this cell, you can see first enter your age. So let's say user enter age is equal to 25, and second input, are you a citizen of this country or not? So I will write yes, and if I enter, then the output will be you are eligible to vote. So you can see the output is you are eligible to vote. But if you see the age is 25 and the citizen is equal to yes, so this statement is being executed. But if citizen is equal to no, then this statement will be executed. And if the age is not 25 but less than 18, so this else statement will be executed. Sorry, you are not old enough to vote. So let's see an example of how this works. So let's say age is 25 but user is not citizen of this country. The user enters no, and you can see sorry, only citizens can vote. So again, one more example. If I write age is equal to 15, so this time this else statement will be executed, that is sorry, you are not old enough to vote. So as soon as I hit enter, you can see are you citizen of this country? I will write yes, but it doesn't matter. Sorry, you are not old enough to vote. Why it does not matter? Because this else statement does not compare you the citizen statement. This shows how nested if statement can be used to check multiple conditions and create more complex conditional statement. So next is short circuiting. So in Python, short circuiting is a technique used to simplify complex conditional statement by taking advantage of the fact that logical operators and or only evaluate their operands until a certain condition is met. So for example, in an OR statement, if the first operand evaluates to true, the second operand is not evaluated because the entire expression is already considered to be true. Similarly, if in an AND statement, if the first operand evaluates to false, the second operand is not evaluated because the entire operation is already considered to be false. So here is an example of how short circuiting can be used to check if a string is not empty before performing a certain action. So in this example, you can see text is equal to nothing because text is not having any text is a string but it does not have any character. So you can see text is not having any character in it. So if text and length of text is greater than 0, so since text is not having any character, that means text is empty, so text will be evaluated as false, and this second length of text statement will not be executed. So if I run this cell, I will get the output as the string is empty. You can see the output is the string is empty, because if statement checks whether text is not empty and whether its length is greater than 0. However, because of short circuiting, if text is empty, the second operator length of text greater than 0 is not evaluated because the entire expression is already considered to be false. This simplifies the conditional statement and makes the code more readable. If the text variable is not empty, the second operand is evaluated and the code block within the if statement is executed. The string is not empty. If string is empty, if text is empty, the else block is executed. So it prints the string is empty. So this time if I show you, like if I give some number in this text variable like pb. Okay, so this time my text contains some characters in it. So this time this if statement will be executed and the output will be the string is not empty. So you can see the output is the string is not empty, because this time both the condition will be checked. So first condition if text is empty, and second is length of the text is greater than 0. So both are true. So this time this code will be executed. In short, source sorting can be a very powerful tool to simplify conditional statements and improve the efficiency of your code. However, it is important to use it judiciously and make sure that your code is still easy to understand and maintain. So the conclusion for this if else elif conditional statements is that conditional statements are a fundamental concept in Python programming that allow us to execute code blocks based on certain conditions. By using if statements, else statement, elif statement, nested if statements, and short circuiting, we can create complex programs that are able to make decisions and take different action based on a variety of inputs. So by using the examples and technique covered in this notebook, you can start to write more powerful and efficient programs that are able to make decisions and take different action based on variety of inputs. So start practicing and experimenting with the conditional statements today and take your Python programming skill to next level. Bye bye. Take care.